because here it's not sitting on its base. The base is the triangle. So here is a base, and here's the other base. Remember, the name of the prism tells you the shape that's the base. So here is the formula to find the total area, the surface area of a prism. My base shape is a triangle, so 1/2 base times height. So 7 times 24 times 1/2, or divide by 2. And that'll give me my base area, which is 84. However, to find the perimeter of that base, notice I need to find this side of the base. So I had to either realize it was a triple, a 7, 24, 25, or do Pythagorean theorem. And then that would have given me my hypotenuse, which was the 25. So to find perimeter, I would be doing 49 plus 24 squared gives me 576. Add those. I get 625, square root it, and it's 25. So I needed that 25 to find the perimeter of the base. Once I have the base area and the perimeter, now I can take the formula and find out the final total area or surface area. So again, you will be doing Pythagorean theorem. If it ends up being a triple and you recognize it, you don't need to do all of this. Just put in the number. The next one, same shape, it's still a triangular prism. This time it's not a right triangular prism, it's just a triangular prism. But what was nice this time, they gave me the base, they gave me the height of that triangle. So base times height times 1/2, and I get 12. They also gave me the 3 sides of the triangle base. So to find the perimeter, I just add those 3 numbers. Now that I have the base area and the perimeter, now I can do 2 times the base plus perimeter times height. The 11 is the height of the prism. Again, this prism was not sitting on its base. It was drawn sitting on a rectangle, which was one of the lateral sides. Now, if again this was a free response question, all you would put in the box is 200. You don't fill in centimeters squared. But if it's a multiple choice question, you'll look for the 200 centimeters squared. Next one is a cone. Again, notice they gave me the height, but for the formula, I need the L, the slant height. So I needed again to do and pull out a triangle. So over here, the triangle is formed by the height, which was 6, and the radius, which was 8. If you're good at memorizing your triples, this is a 3, 4, 5 scaled up. So the missing piece was 10, but if you didn't realize that, you would do 6 squared plus 8 squared equals that slant height squared. 36 plus 64 is 100. Square root both sides, and the slant height is 10. Now that you calculated the slant height, now you just plug it into the formula, and left in terms of pi, it's 144 pi units squared. Now, let's say this question said instead of leave in terms of pi, let's say it said use the pi button, then you would have done 144 times pi, and then rounded to, let's say, the 10th place. If we do 144 times pi, we get 452.38, so 452.4. So again, read the instructions. If it says leave in terms of pi, we would leave it like this. But if it said round to a specific decimal place, use your pi button. It may also say use 314. Just read the directions. Let's try the next one. Next one is a cylinder. What's nice about the cylinders and the cones, it's just a set formula here. And remember, to find surface area or total area of a cylinder, we have a circle top, a circle bottom. So remember, the formula for area of a circle is pi r squared, and we have 2 of them. So that's how they get that part. And then the lateral area is this 2 pi r height. It's sort of like the circumference times the height. So again, if you're given everything, which they did, the r was 6 and the h was 4, then just plug in the numbers and simplify. Again, it said to leave in terms of pi. Both of these had a pi, so I can add 72 plus 48, and the final answer is 120 pi. And again, they did give us units, centimeters squared. Everybody good so far? Let's go to the next page. Again, triangular prism. So remember, whenever you try to find volume of any prism, the formula is this. But remember, this capital B represents the area of the base. Now, remember we learned that polygon formula, the 1/2 ANS. So if your base happens to be a pentagon, we would use this. However, our base shape here is a triangle. So for this problem, my capital B represents 1/2 BH or BH divided by 2. So this capital B, depending on the type of prism, changes within each problem. So again, back to those cones and cylinders, remember your base shape's always a circle. So that's what makes the cylinders and the cones a little easier. All right, so here I would find the area of the triangle base, and they gave me the base and the height, so it's just 8 times 10 times half, which is 40. And then the 20 over here is the height of the whole prism. So we plug it in over here. So the 40 is the capital B and the 20 is the height. And again, if it were a free response question, you would just type 800 in the box. Next one, volume of the prism. Again, when it's the rectangular prism, you can choose what the base area is. But just remember, volume of a rectangular prism, all you need to do is multiply length times width times height. So just take the 3 numbers and multiply them. Number 9, volume of a cylinder. Again, we're still doing BH, but this time our capital B is a circle, so it's pi r squared, and then times the height, which is what's written here. So they gave us everything we needed. The radius was 10. The height of the cylinder was 16. So plug it in, and then again, the instruction said, leave in terms of pi. For the cone, notice this time, be careful, they gave us a slant height, and this is L. They did not give us H. So again, I need to pull a triangle out of this to find the actual height. And again, it's a triple. So if I pull this out, they gave me the 13. They gave me a diameter. I split it to make it a radius. And to find the height, this is a triple. It's a 5, 12, 13. If you didn't realize that, you would do h squared plus 5 squared equals 13 squared. H squared plus 25 equals 169. Subtract 25, square root it, and your height is 12. Once you find the height, now we can plug everything into the formula. and we would get 314, because notice this time the instruction said use 314 for pi. Now, if it said leave in terms of pi, we would have stopped here at 100 pi. So again, it's important that you read what they want you to use for pi. For 11, volume of the pyramid. So remember, for volume of cones and pyramids, it's still this capital BH, but remember we're shaving off 1/3 of it. So over here when we did the cone, we did the area of the base times how tall it was, but then at the end I always just divide by 3. Same thing for the pyramid. Find the area of the base is a rectangle, multiply it by how tall the pyramid is, and then either times it by 1/3 or divide by 3. So you could do 5 times 4 times 6, multiply those 3, and divide it by 3. If you weren't using a calculator, I could divide one of the numbers, and then I could just do 5 times 4, 20, times 2, and get 40. So it is, pretty easy. You could do it without your calculator. And then we have this complex looking figure here. So you're gonna find volumes, you're gonna split it up. And this looks like it was divided for us already. So we have the top piece, which looks like it's half of a cylinder. So we have this piece right here. And then we have the bottom, which looks like a cube. Because notice the dimensions are 4, 4, and 4. So what I'm going to do is find the volume of a cylinder, divide it by 2 because it's only half of it, and then find the volume of the cube. Once I find those two volumes separately, then I will add them. If it said leave in terms of pi, that would be your answer. The 64 does not have pi, so I can't add it to it. But notice this instruction said round to the tenths place, so this is what you would key in. If it were a free response, all you would put in is 89.1. You don't need to worry about filling in inches cubed. So that is your review. You don't have any homework to turn in for Thursday. Your only homework is to study. So between now and Thursday, make your formula sheet or whatever reference material you're going to be using, whether you do it on Canvas or in Notability, or if you actually do it on a piece of paper, get yourself organized. Again, it's timed. You don't want to run out of time because you're trying to open up too many different documents to find formulas. So have yourself organized, maybe have pictures, maybe have triples written down if you don't want to have to keep doing Pythagorean theorem. Again, it's open notes, calculator. Make sure that the calculator you're going to use for the test is readily available. Make sure if it's rechargeable that it's charged. If it's not, make sure the batteries are good. Make sure you have everything ready to go. Again, I'll start the Zoom call like 5 minutes early so I can get everyone in. If for some reason you miss the test, maybe you're having internet problems, just make sure you email me and then we'll work something out. If for some reason something happens and you just don't make it, maybe you oversleep and you miss all your classes on Thursday, you'll do a one-on-one makeup test with me and we'll schedule it in the afternoon, one afternoon. So make sure you're ready to go and have everything, both devices ready, just like we did all the quizzes. All of your quizzes should be available if you need to review any of the answers. And again, you still have all your homework. Let's see. Anyone have any questions about anything?